the actors have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting through actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice.
Bring up Daddy in this house. Now, this conversation ain't got nothing to do with Daddy. Don't you bring him up in this house. Man, this house over where he saw fit, I run mine the way I see fit.
What is the matter with you, man? You have a daughter in California, and as far as I can tell, she's practically living on the street. What kind of man are you?
Don't you question my manhood? What the hell do you know about manhood? A man has responsibility. If her husband abandoned her, he's gonna have to answer to God for that. Not my concern. I raised her and I fulfilled all my obligations as a father.
And you think you stopped being a father because your little girl got married? Daddy never abandoned you. When your son, little Timothy, passed away, who were you crying to and leaning on? Daddy! And he didn't stop there. He had a nervous breakdown. Who did you go to but strength? Daddy! How the hell can you forget that, Cleo? That girl is sick. How can you just abandon her?
Man, don't you mix words with me.
What you just saw, ladies and gentlemen, is a short cut from Kosmond Russell's The Marriage, the NAACP award-winning Act 2 play that first came out in the year 2000. It was directed by Ted Lange and written by Kosmond Russell. The clip featured Aloma Wright and Hugh Dane. The clip featured the playwright for the play won Best Playwright for Russell and Best Lead Actress for Dawnn Lewis. And with me now is award-winning playwright Kosmond Russell as The Marriage returns to the stage. Hi, Kosmond. Good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mr. Brewington, and thank you so much for having me here to talk about this play that I am so passionate about because it's based on my marriage.
Now, I know there's a lot of emotion in that clip that we just saw, and it brings back many memories for you. What made you bring it back at this time?
Well, a couple of things. So we're celebrating the 15-year anniversary. We originally did it in 2000, and it was absolutely phenomenal. We were turning audiences away because it resonated with the people. And again, as I shared with you, it's based on my marriage, a true story that was challenged with paranoid schizophrenia. My wife was a paranoid schizophrenic. I didn't know that going into the marriage, but I discovered that shortly into the marriage. And I realized that a lot of people, particularly in the African American community, have the tendency to sweep mental illness under the rug, not talk about it, not address it, not deal with it, because it's so stigmatized and people feel ostracized. So I decided to bring it back initially because I wanted to celebrate the 15-year anniversary. But then after something happened in our first read-through of the play with this phenomenal all-star cast, starring Dawnn, Lewis, and Andre Pietre, and Carlease Burks, who is here today, I realized, I asked everyone in the room, there were about 30 people in the room, how many people had some type of direct connection or relationship with mental illness. And 28 out of 30 people had either a family member or a close associate or friend that were suffering from some type of mental illness, and tears were flowing all through the room. People were crying, people were opening up, people were purging, and we were talking about family members that had committed suicide. We were talking about family members that were living on the street, and that I realized right then and there that this wasn't just a play. This wasn't entertainment. This was a movement. This was a call to action. This was a ministry, and this was an opportunity and a platform to get people talking about this illness that is just rampant throughout the African American community. 1 in every 5 African Americans suffer from some form of mental illness.
Wow.
I think we can leave now. I think we're done.
He did a great job in telling it like this. But because, again, as actors and professional people, you know how to take your business and meld it around so you can take a problem and bring it to the attention of the audience. The people are going to come in and see this play. It's going to be entertaining, but it's also going to be very, very informational. And they're going to be well informed. You could say, with this one lady sitting here, Dawnn Lewis, that this is kind of a reunion between you guys, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Dawnn is my friend. Dawnn is my friend. And we're both passionate about what we do. And Dawnn's a professional, I'm an artist, you know. No, but Dawnn is my friend. And this reunion just brings us together with passion to just get out there and entertain, enlighten, inform, educate, uplift, inspire, provoke thought, provoke dialogue. But we're having a great time doing it. And, you know, she pushes me, I push her, but it's all in the name of excellence. So, yes, I'm honored to be working with my friend again.
So how have the rehearsals been going?
Incredible. Incredible.
I mean, that's a lot of talent.
I'm the writer and the director, and when I experience it, it's almost as though I'm seeing it for the first time. It brings tears to my eyes, and because the words resonate so true. And it's not, oh, I'm a brilliant writer. I was a vessel. God used me. God worked through me. So when I see these rehearsals, I'm being ministered to. I'm being reminded of this cause. I'm being reminded of my purpose-driven life. And man, these rehearsals from day one, when we had a table read, are just absolutely moving and inspirational and passionate.
How did you assemble this particular group of people?
God. God! I started off, of course, with Dawnn, and I initially called her and said, I want to do this play again. And she said, that was 15 years ago. Any way you want to use me, cause use me. However you want to use me, whichever, because there's 13 characters in this play. And initially, I was going to have someone else play the role that Dawnn won the NAACP award for, and that was the direction I was moving in. But after talking to Sean Blakemore, who was originally playing the role that Andre Pietre is playing now, and he said, well, I'll only do it if Dawnn's doing it. I was like, wow, okay. And so then I talked to Dawnn and went and looked at some pictures because I'm going to be the producer and the director, and I looked and I said, man, Dawnn hasn't aged a bit. Dawnn's beautiful. Dawnn's fine. Dawnn's got it going on.
Wow.
And I called her and I said, and I can't remember exactly the words I said to her, but I said to her something to the effect of, Dawnn, you still got it. You fine. You got it going on.
If you haven't been following her, she's been doing a lot of plays.
I have been following her, but, you know, I didn't have my director's hat on, and I didn't have my producer's hat on. But when I did my research, I said, whoa. So I called her, and I didn't even tell her why I was calling her. I just said, Dawnn, you know, I just had a feeling, and I said, I'm going to talk to you later. I have some good news for you. So I called her a few days later, and I said, I want you to reprise that role. Because, quite frankly, she wears it out. She wears it out. If you're a theater lover, even if you're not a theater lover, if you're passionate about good stories, if you appreciate good stories, you have to see Dawnn Lewis in this role. You haven't seen Dawnn Lewis before. You may think you've seen Dawnn Lewis act before. You haven't seen Dawnn Lewis act before. This is, like, what is it, tour de force? Is that how you call it? This is tour de force. This is brilliance. This is acting at its absolute finest. Dawnn Lewis delivers the goods, folks. If you just came to see Dawnn Lewis do this one monologue on the bus bench, that would be worth the ticket price in and of itself. But we have so much more. Just like she's good, we have 12 other brilliant. Oh, I didn't answer your question. I started off with Dawnn Lewis. I'm sorry. I started off with Dawnn Lewis. And then I started calling other people. I wanted to bring Hollywood to the hood, if you will.
Thank you.
And a lot of people started signing on. If Dawnn's a part of it, I'm on. I'm in it. I've got it. And then, like, for example, Andre Pietre came to the role because I was having a conversation with renowned casting director Pietre Wise, and he said, man, you know, Andre Pietre would be good in that role. And immediately I knew he would because he's playing me, and so we needed somebody suave and debonair. And so that's how Andre came to the role. And then Carlease Burks, I literally was going after someone else, and I was going through Facebook, and I saw Carlease. I've known Carlease Burks for over about 20 years, 12, at least 20 years.
At least.
And her picture spoke to me, and I saw the character that I was going for, and I wasn't wrong. She was absolutely brilliant. She was absolutely brilliant in the role. Or she is absolutely brilliant in the role. I'm sorry,
Okay.
my phone just went off. I turned it off. I'm sorry.
Hollywood. People
Yes,
calling.
indeed. Now, the selection of the theater down on Crenshaw Boulevard, can you tell us about dates, place, and times? What to expect?
The date, October 8th,
Okay.
2 performances only,
2 performances only.
2:30 p.m., 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
Do you want to know why I selected the theater, or you just okay? I selected the theater because I've been a member of West Angeles. Oh, okay. The West Angeles Performing Arts Theater. Thank you. West Angeles Performing Arts Theater, and that's directly across the street from the North Campus of West Angeles Church of God in Christ. I've been a member there for about 25 years. And I used to be a part of a theater group that was in the part of the theater. And it's just like coming back home, you know, an opportunity to come back home. And as I said, bring a piece of Hollywood to the hood. And it oftentimes we'll leave our community and go to Hollywood and outside of our community to do great theater. And I just want to show everyone that we can do absolutely brilliant theater with brilliant talent, with name talent, right in our own backyard. And it's a beautiful theater. It's a 474-seat theater, and it's absolutely beautiful and has all of the what's the word I'm looking for? Accoutrements and
Accoutrements.
what is it again?
Accoutrements.
Accoutrements. Thank you. Has all of the accoutrements of any theater that is out there, and I'm proud. And it's free parking, guys.
Hey, and it's a brand new hamburger joint right next to it.
Burger King.
But thank you so much. I know you're going to be running around town. You're going to other radio stations around town, newspapers, making those interviews, getting people to know what's going on and what you have to offer. Definitely. I want to thank you for re-releasing it again.
Absolutely. And if I might say, for tickets, go to www.Kosmond. That's KOSMOND.com. www.Kosmond.com. And tickets are only $32. Kosmond.com. Or you can call the West Angeles Performing Arts box office at 323-733-8707. 323-733-8707. It'll be such a pleasure to see all of your faces in the theater, and you're going to have a wonderful time.
If you can just tell us what's next on the line for you.
I'm writing a piece called The Mediation, about 3 different couples that's going through marital counseling. And it's got a lot of fireworks and a lot of truth and a lot of passion behind it. So The Mediation, look for it. It's coming soon.
good subject talking about marriages. That's something we all need to know about. A lot of good things.
Absolutely.
I've been married 3 times myself, and
Wow.
it's one of those things. Everybody says, "Well, keep doing it. Just do it again." But we were talking about before we got in here. We were just talking about the 3 major problems that causes marriages to break down. First and foremost is lack of communication, without question.
Amen to that.
Sex is number 2. Money is number 3.
Okay.
So that's what most people, this is what educators tell us.
Okay, I understand.
And when you said the marriage, when you pick that subject, and then of course your follow-on play, that's going to be nice. Please keep it coming. We need to, because there's a lot of divorces going on these days. We just saw one just the other day. Who's that? Brad Pitt and his wife shocked a lot of people. Whoa! I thought they were going to be married for life, but these things happen. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, we deal with those truths and,
Yes.
and the covenant and vows of marriage. And so it's not just about mental illness. I don't want you to think, there's a lot of fun in this play. Dawnn and Andre, incredible singers. They're singing throughout the play.
That's what I was told.
4 comedians in this play. So it's not, even though we're dealing with the truths of mental illness, that's just one of the subject matters in the play. It's a lot of fun, guys. You're going to have a rip-roaring good time.
Thank you, Kosmond. Thank you. We have several of the cast members here today. First is veteran award-winning actress Dawnn Lewis. She played the role of Jaleesa Vincent Taylor in, check this out, 104 episodes of the hit 1987 TV series A Different World. It launched her career and put her on the map to stardom. Dawnn is a very busy lady with numerous roles on TV, the screen, and the stage. Our next guest is a native of Beaumont, Texas. His name is Andre Pietre. He graduated from Prairie View A&M University, where he started a musical career with a trio called Rapport. Rapport. Thank you, sir. He has acted in several plays and films. And then, of course, next is Carlease Burks, the former New York resident of New York, has numerous credits in film and television. Her first TV credit was a recurring role on the hit soap opera, The Young and the Restless. From there, she does national commercials, films, and enjoys her bicycle riding near the ocean. A lot of fun. Without further ado, Miss Dawnn Lewis. Hi, Dawnn. Good to see you.
Hi,
Thank you
good
so
to
much for
see
being
you.
here.
Oh, of course,
Thank you.
Ron.
Thank you.
Always good to
Thank you.
see you.
Please tell us about your role in this play.
My role in the play, I play Angelique Charles, the woman who would have been Kosmond's wife that is suffering from mental illness. She starts out as a very successful businesswoman, and you watch her slow decline into succumbing to this illness. We learn that mental illness is hereditary. My mother suffers from it in the play, and you just watch this woman doing her best to keep it all together, but ultimately you just can't. She decides that she's stronger than what is happening in her body, and she decides to go off of her meds, and you just watch this horrific downward spiral. And unfortunately, what happens to her is just the beginning of the reality. It affects, of course, her husband who loves her dearly. It affects their marriage. It affects her family. It affects her friends. And you learn that everybody who loves you can only do but so much for you if you are not willing to do for yourself what needs to be done. We need to be responsible for ourselves. If we know that we have an illness, then we need to be responsible for taking our medication, for seeking whatever help is available to us, because other people can only do but so much if you're not willing to do for yourself. So without giving too much away, you just really watch this very, very challenging reality happen to this woman, to this brilliant, beautiful woman whose life just becomes completely changed because of this illness, as well as the lives around her.
Were you surprised when Kosmond came to you and said, let's do it again?
No. Nothing Kosmond does surprises me anymore. Kosmond stopped surprising me a long time ago. I was intrigued. Intrigued is a good word about reprising the role. I was willing to be a part, as Kosmond said, in any of the roles, playing my mother, playing my aunt, whichever it was, because the piece is a good piece. The story is a good story. And as an actress, you go where the meat is, which is one of the lines from the show. So getting to play Angelique again, I love her. I love this role. And I'm excited. I'm excited about all of the new faces and energy and talent that I'm surrounded by in this cast. We have actually one returning cast member. Christopher Richards, and I believe he flew in from the East Coast to come in and do this role. He's one of our comedian people, and Chris is just one of the nicest people, loves the Lord. In fact, just about everybody in this production has a relationship with Christ, which just brings a whole other energy to the reality of this piece, because also through the piece, not only we as individuals learn to strengthen our walk with the Lord, but you actually get to observe how vital that third cord is. When you talk about that, a solid relationship is a three-stranded cord between the one individual, the other individual, tied together by the loving grace of Christ. That message is important as well throughout this piece.
Now, this is an original. Nothing's been changed from the last...
Oh, yes, it has. There have been rewrites, there have been additions, there have been omissions. I think the piece has grown as Kosmond has grown, as the different talent has become available to us. And again, so for me, it becomes the challenge of, yes, I've done it before, but I've not done this. You know what I mean? So it's the same, but different.
Yeah.
So if you saw it before and you think, well, I already saw that show, I don't have to go see it again, think again. You're going to get a very, very different, evolved experience if you come and see it this time. And I'm really hoping that you do.
Yes, hoping that you do, because again, you're going, like you said, he's bringing Hollywood to the hood. And
He's bringing Hollywood to the hood, and it's got elements that weren't in it before, multimedia elements. We have a musician involved in the transitions. Last time we had a dancer involved in our transitions. That's going from scene to scene. Any of you jazz enthusiasts out there who knows Mr. Mark Felton, a.k.a. Panther, one of the hottest saxophone players in the city, is going to be joining the cast, and he's going to be an integral part of how the show moves along, and the story is told as well.
As an actor who's been there for many years, do you have the opportunity to change the script in some way? You say, well, can we try this? Can we do that?
You know, I've been doing this, as you said, a long time, and God bless you, Ron. And people, when they give my credits, it's funny how they just seem to stop at a different world. That show was such a huge blessing to my life, and I will never deny that. But I was doing theater off and on Broadway before I came to California. A Different World was the first TV series, and by no means the last. I've done a couple of dozen movies. I'm actually doing a TV series now. I'm on TNT series Major Crimes. So yeah, I've been doing this a while, in addition to music and voiceover animation. So when it comes to this particular piece, as within any other piece, when you embody the character, there are certain things that feel organic and feel natural. So as much as I may have my own personal passion and vision, I'm very respectful, because they're not my words. I didn't write them. I'm here to do a service to the words that were written, but where I feel compelled, I will make suggestions about, well, I think it may flow better this way, or it seems more organic doing X, Y, and Z, and then I submit that to the playwright and the director, who in this case are both Kosmond, and then he'll either say yay or nay.
Gotcha. What's your favorite scene in this play?
Wow, I actually have two favorite scenes in the play. One is where things start to become unglued, and you watch her try to, as best as she can, reel herself in with a scene between her and her then boyfriend. And he gets a first glimpse of what is going on here. That's a very powerful scene, and it's a very challenging scene to do, because you can't go but so, well, you shouldn't go but so far, but at the same time you have to go far enough to make it clear that there's an issue here, and what is this issue? And the other one is the bench scene that Kosmond referred to, because that's a level of depth in character development that often as actors and actresses we don't get to perform. We play the straight and narrow. You're either all crazy, or you're all funny, or you're all sexy, or you're all whatever. But this particular monologue runs the gamut of where she is, and it's from a very specific place that it touches people.
I see. One of the things that I admire about actors is the love that you have for what you do. I mean, to hit that
You
stage,
gotta love it. A lot of people don't make any money, so you
you
gotta love it.
You gotta. I mean, hit that stage like I was thinking of Hamilton, 5-6 nights a week. Matinee on
8
Sunday.
shows a week.
Right, you know.
Sometimes 9 or 10, depending on if you have school programs coming in. Live theater is more than a notion. People who do it well make it look easy, but it is anything but easy, particularly a dramatic piece, because it has to be new to you each time you produce whatever it is you're producing, because where it may be your 100th, you mentioned 100 some odd episodes of A Different World, it may be your 100th time doing it, but it's the audience's first time seeing it. So you have to take them on that original journey. So yeah, people do it well, make it look easy, but it's not easy, especially you have to add singing to it as well. You have to be in good health, good voice, all of that. All of that. Don't get a cold or a sore throat because people will judge you. Don't judge me.
It thrills me when I see an actor as a person playing another person. And
that's what we do. We create whole individuals.
Yeah.
We create whole worlds. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
we create
absolutely.
whole worlds and environments. Yeah.
Sometimes it's even difficult to tell the real person from the acting person. I've seen some actors, and you've seen it too.
That's very true. That's very, very true. But it's all
good.
entertainment.
Amen.
It's
Amen.
all entertainment.
You told us about your favorite scene. What was the hardest scene for you to do in the play?
That same one, the bench scene.
The bench scene.
Actually, the bench scene, and then there's another scene where she's slipped even further, because it then deals with, in her mind, she's experiencing domestic violence. So you add domestic violence on top of her personal fear and her going through this journey as a woman embodying that kind of fear and need to protect yourself is a very frightening place to be when you're supposed to be an environment of love within the walls of love and cooperation in your marriage and in your home.
Got you.
So
You worked a career. Your career has allowed you to become now a busy lady. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. How do you keep up with the scheduling and stay on track with what you're doing?
I run my own business, Morning Jewel Inc. It's my own production company that oversees my personal appearances, my concerts, my different schedules, whether it's voiceover, live theater, music, composing. I write and compose for different shows. For the one you mentioned, A Different World, I wrote the theme song. Several of the programs that I've been in, you'll find if you read the credits that my name is on, song written by or song produced by or song sung by, performed by, as well as television. So it becomes a juggling act, but ultimately I couldn't do it by myself. I have a wonderful team working with me, and by the grace of God, He just seems to make time for everything to fit in its slot and fit in its place. And He keeps bringing me blessings, so I keep saying thank you. So I've learned the more I say thank you and the more I say this is by the grace of God, He keeps giving me more things to be thankful for and to keep saying His name. So I'm good with that.
Amen.
Amen. I'm good with that.
Would you like to see this play up on the big screen?
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. It's a story, as Kosmond mentioned, that could and should be told. I think it would work in both mediums, whether it's on screen or on stage. There's something that is the intimacy of live theater that brings a certain power and a certain immediacy and a certain gravitas to any subject if it's done well. Film saves it for posterity. So my hope is that if for no other reason, just for archive purposes, so that we have something to draw from in the future, that Kosmond does videotape it. At least, so that we have a record of it, just like we happen to have a record of the previous version.
Right.
So.
Because I'm thinking with the mental illness, I'm thinking of a hospital, some people with white coats on, that kind of thing. That if you could do that. Is it in this play?
I'm not telling you that. You got to come see it.
Oh, shucks.
I can't tell you everything. You got so much of the cast here, and we're all going to be telling our impressions. It's like when you go to the movies and you see the teaser reel for the upcoming things, and all the best parts are in the. I'm not trying to give you all the best parts. It's not going to happen.
That's the hook. Got to tell us something.
But we're telling you plenty, and we're here. The point is, we want you to come. We really want you to come and be with us in the house on October 8th at the West Angeles Theater. And if you're not familiar, because we all assume that everybody knows where everything is, it's on Crenshaw Boulevard, just south of the 10 freeway. I think the address is 3020.
Correct.
3020 Crenshaw Boulevard. So please come and join us either at 2:30 or at 7:30 on Saturday, October 8th.
Well, I know two people that's going to be sitting there at the 7 o'clock or 7:30 performance.
That's awesome.
That's me and my friend.
That's awesome.
Yay!
One thing I love is I try to get to at least 1 or 2 plays a week. If the more the better.
Oh, that's excellent.
I love
I didn't realize there was that much live theater in LA that you can go to 2 shows a week. That's awesome.
With
That's good
250
to hear.
production companies in this town. Oh,
That's
gosh.
awesome.
Yeah.
Amen.
And big fight for the 99 seat. That's going on every day.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Any thoughts on it? Anybody?
What?
The 99 seat fight.
What's the fight?
Well, right now, equity is, Actors Equity is fighting about taking away the 99 seat provision, and a lot of people don't like that.
Wow, that's where a lot of people get to workshop their
That's
plays
right.
and get them on their feet before they can move them to
impact your
larger
work.
houses. Okay, well,
Gotcha.
we'll see how that pans out.
Impact the world.
Yes. One last question for you, my dear. What's your next project?
Well, I am still doing major crimes. I'm excited about that. We're doing this. I do voices for Doc McStuffins. I do voices for Sophia the First. I do voices for several animated shows. I've got a new video game coming out called Tacoma that I do voices for that. And I'm also a part of the Black College Expo. I'm traveling the country with the Black College Expo, talking to college-bound high school students and college students about the importance of furthering their education. And so in between that and everything else, I know there's something else I'm doing, but I can't think of what it is.
Like I said, you're a busy lady.
Praise God.
Andre.
Yes.
Andre Pietre. From Texas.
Yes, sir.
Great
Beaumont,
state of Texas. Yes.
Yes.
Well, my daughter lives down in near Dallas.
Okay.
A little town down here. Tell us about your role in the play, please.
Well, I play Michael de Montgomery, which is, basically I'm playing Kosmond. He's looking at himself, and hopefully I'm doing a great job in bringing his life story, to the stage. And just to echo what Dawnn was saying, this is an incredible piece, and it's just a blessing for me to work with someone like her because, I watch different world, and, singing and acting is a passion of mine, and, for God to bless me to work with people that can challenge me and continue to make me grow, it's just, it's speechless. So,
Gotcha.
And this production and this cast and just everything that we've been saying is nothing but God. God is all through this, and this is a testimony. So I'm encouraging everyone to come out and, spread the word. Because
I
it's
want to give you your
incredible.
spotlight. I feel odd
nah,
just sitting
you
here.
good?
So. Slide. There you go. Just feels weird. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Because I was going to say, you're sitting between two ladies.
Yes.
Both of them have over 100 documented roles that they've done. That's a lot of experience. Of course, Mr. Gant, I always tease me every time I see him, a Rocky Balboa.
Right.
And
I'm a huge Rocky fan.
Oh,
so
yes.
when I saw the cast and when Kosmond called me, I was like, as soon as he sent it to me, I read it right there on the spot. Because one thing about me, when I get a piece, and if I read it and go all the way through, then I'm there. And I love what I do. Again, I'm, coming from Texas to Los Angeles, everybody has these big eyes and, they want to make it, but you have to put in the work. And I come from a strong family, a strong background with two-parent household. I'm the oldest, but I was always the one singing and entertaining. So this has been a dream for me. So I'm just excited.
So your family has no problem with you being an actor?
Oh, no, because that's all, I would entertain for them. I would perform, and then I have younger brothers. I dress them up, and we would do performances. So this is something that's second nature to me. So I enjoy playing, other characters and just really stepping out of me and embodying what I'm supposed to do.
Gotcha. As a young actor, and you came here to Hollywood, what was your first impression when you came here?
Well, the odd thing was, prior to me coming, my business partner is one of the co-stars on the show Different World. She played Kimberly Reese, Charnel Brown. So we have a production company in Houston where we work with kids and we do after-school programs, and we basically trying to bring Hollywood to Houston. So I kind of had a head start on what to look for, what not to look for, how to stay focused, understand that, everybody has a time in the season. So coming out here, I was focused on what I needed to do. And plus, again, I go back to my upbringing and graduating from a historically black university, Prairie View A&M University. I learned a whole lot about life. As far as just registration is something, registering at college like that. So, again, I just, I take it all in because all of this is temporary. So every chance I get to do my craft, I take it full advantage of it. I don't take it for granted.
Got you.
I don't.
I've asked a lot of actors, how do you get thrilled? They said, by going to a play, by going to the movies. That's why I'm just by looking at that screen, I can learn from another actor up there what they're doing. As you know, there are 8 different styles of acting.
Right.
Have you? Which one are you staying with right now, sir?
Well, I'm open. You know,
Okay.
I don't want to be in the box because when certain, I mean, I ain't gonna say certain, but most of the time when they cast, they want me to play the boy next door, the pretty boy, you know, and I want to do the grimy stuff.
I told you was pretty. Yeah.
You told me
I never told you was pretty.
I like the grimy, the grit, you know. So I love gangster movies too.
Okay.
So I love those roles like you know, I go all the way back to New Jack City.
Got it.
You know, stuff like that. I love Casino, Goodfellas,
Yes.
Donnie Brasco, Scarface.
Yes.
You know, and I'm a big Denzel Washington fan and Tom Hanks.
I believe his
and
movie
all
was
of
number 1 at
those.
the box office this weekend.
35 million this
Oof.
weekend.
Which one?
Magnificent
Yeah,
Seven.
Magnificent Seven. Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah,
I
good
saw it.
old-fashioned cowboy
so
movie.
So was you said Tom Hanks. So
Yeah,
was
Tom
Sully.
Hanks. Sully, yeah,
Sully
they
was
stayed
Sully was
2 weeks.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like, I just, you know, and Kosmond talked to me about it one night at rehearsal about just letting go because I have OCD to the 10th power. So everything is structured, everything have to be like this. But with acting, I get to just let go and just be free. And that's what I love about it.
Don't want to get in your business, but have you ever been married?
No.
Okay. The reason I asked that question is because you're playing a husband, a boyfriend, and then later a husband in the play. How do you? Okay, they say, how do you fall back? What experience do you have to fall back on?
Well, my mom and dad were married 40 years before he passed.
That's
my
enough
dad just
experience.
passed last year.
Sorry
So
to hear that.
I watched, and some of the things that you're going to see in the play, my dad dealt with some of these issues. So I watched how my mom was unconditional. She showed that unconditional love for him. And so that's how I feel Mikey is with Angelique, because I love her unconditionally. I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I'm doing everything I can. I'm trying. You know, I've stepped out of myself to make sure she's okay. So without giving, you know, that part away, it's just, this ride is amazing for men. I really encourage men to come and check this out because it shows the other side of men. When you love unconditionally, nothing else matters.
Right.
Nothing else matters.
Right.
So I'm excited about that.
Because again, you're talking about God, family, yourselves, putting it together. In God we trust, all these things, so death
Yes,
to us
sir.
part, all these things that people sometimes they just take it for granted and say, it's just a word. Don't mean nothing.
Right.
It means a lot.
If you know the order of how it runs, then you understand that it's God, the man, and then he covers and protects his family. So
Gotcha.
that's how I feel Mikey is in this particular, you know, project.
Okay. One of the things that I always ask actors when we get them on this show, their feelings about having to do an audition. How do you feel about that, sir?
I used to see with singing it was easy for me, but with acting I would just, you know, with the code reading I would really just be like, ugh. But then I learned through trial and error, just going in and just do the best that you can, because half of the time they don't know what they're looking for. You know, you have to bring something to the table, and my thing is, when it's your time, it's your time. You can go and have the worst audition, but someone can see something in you, you know, and it's just, I just believe in the timing and the season and just being prepared. If you're putting in the work, when that time comes, then everything is just going to work itself out, because everybody has a particular role or a season or something that's specifically for them. I look at Jamie Foxx with Ray. No one could have played that role but him. I mean, he was incredible in that.
Right, man, for the right
Man from
time.
Texas, by the way.
Right. Terry, Texas. So, but just being ready, being prepared,
Yeah.
you know, and going in there and just giving it your best.
Got you. What was your favorite scene in this play?
Oh man, I like all of them. You know, well, Angelique and I have some powerful scenes. You know, some incredible ones. We have some funny ones. We have some that's just like booyah. That's all I'm gonna say. And I have a very powerful one with her dad, which is played by Richard Gant, and that's one that's really, you know. And just to work with someone as seasoned and just as great as him is pulling out so much, and I'm learning so much. And that scene right there is very powerful because I've never experienced a situation with someone's father like that. It was pretty just, you know, easy going. But that was something where I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So it's challenging. So I'm excited I'm excited for that.
Because sometimes they call them in-laws and sometimes they call them outlaws.
Right. It goes back to what I was saying about being prepared. And Mike was ready.
Gotcha.
Everything he threw, I was ready.
How about your most difficult scene in play?
Oh man, dealing with my beautiful wife because I love her so much, but it's a point where I'm like, "What's wrong, baby? What's wrong? What am I doing?
You're too pretty. That's
What
what.
am I doing?"
You're prettier than me. I don't understand. I got a problem with it.
So it's you know, it's just a challenging part when you trying, you do everything you can possibly do, and it's like, God, what else can I do?
Gotcha.
And so it's that point, and the point when I'm like, where are you?
Yeah.
Where's my baby?
Right.
Where did you go?
Right.
Right.
You know, and it's how do you pull it? You know, what do you do?
Gotcha.
You know, do you stand or do you run? That's a line.
It sounds
Thank
like
you.
a song.
Thank you. Now, I understand y'all might do a little singing in this play.
Oh yeah, y'all got to check that out. We can't give too much of that away, but it's some incredible singing. Dawnn has a beautiful voice.
Oh, yes.
You know,
So
just
is Andre. So
thank
is Andre.
you. So I mean, I you know, like
And they're both
Kosmond
original
was saying,
songs.
Yes.
Most of the music is original music.
Original.
Right.
Like Kosmond was saying that the way this was casted, no one but God could put these pieces together like this. Because I just got back to L.A. in May. Just got back, and for my first project of acting to be this is amazing to me. You know, that's why I know my dad is sending his blessings down. And I just lost him last year. So this is amazing for me to do something like this where I'm playing this type of role, where I'm being challenged, where I'm working with such incredible people. You know, because I don't look at them as actors and actresses. We're just living. We're just doing what we love to do, and we getting paid for it. That's how I look at it.
Right.
You know.
And it's interesting because Hollywood is a theater town. I mean, it's about films, but we got theater in a film town.
Right.
That's a little hard sometimes, isn't it?
Right. And if I can make, and I'm sure a lot of people can say this, stage to me, and you're a singer, so you know, if you can't sing with a live band,
Right.
then for me, you know, you got to be able to bring it. So for you to be able to do theater and perform in front of a live audience and bring it, not everyone can do that. It's easy to be in front of the camera where they can cut, read, and take and do it over and over. But with stage, you have to be in the moment.
Right.
Right.
It's just like singing live. You know, a lot of these cats, you don't see them go on tour because something happened with the music. What can they do?
Right.
And I'm just, you know, like I said, this is incredible. And the chemistry between Dawnn and I is amazing. And it helps.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, we don't have to act to like each other, even outside of, you know,
Right.
it's just great, you know. So,
Because that stage fright you talk about, I know I teach at a local college here in town, and a lot of times just to have people stand up in front of just 20 people. You know.
Right.
But here you got thousands of people out there. That's that's overwhelming.
you have to be able to be vulnerable
Yes.
and be transparent. Because if you can't be in this business, and this thing will eat you up. It will eat you up. Because people will see you. They will see you for who you are. They know. I mean, even the average person that doesn't really pay attention to acting will know that you are acting. You know, because in real life, when you drop a piece of paper, you pick it up. You don't just walk over it. You know, so that's that stage, that being in the moment, that live stuff. So, again, I'm excited about this whole journey.
Excellent. Dre, what's a typical day for you as an actor?
Oh man, I love to work out. That's one of my things.
Staying
I work
in good
out.
shape.
Yes, and I work out so I can pick my. I work with kids as well. I mentor foster youth. I coach, and working on music. You know, those are my passions. I love helping people, and so that's me. Waking up, working out, going to do what I do with the kids at Southwest Community College.
Good school.
Yes, and preparing for a project like this, and you know, always in the studio working on new music.
What type of music do you like to put on?
R&B.
Hey,
That real stuff.
Come on, stuff.
I grew up listening to Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Donny Hathaway, all the greats. So if there is a dream role for me, and I said this to a few people, and I'm going to let you guys know, I would love to play Sam Cooke. I would love to play him.
Yeah,
Because his story was incredible. It was incredible.
it was. Especially the way he died. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So young.
Yeah, so young. Yeah.
So talented.
Last night I was at the Hal Awards last night. This is when the Motown people get together. Mr. Gordy unfortunately wasn't there. Neither was Smokey, but a lot of other people were there. Remember Valerie Simpson and Nick Ashford? Of course, Nick is passed now, but Valerie was there last night. That girl got up on that stage. She didn't sing. She sang.
Right.
She sang. It was beautiful just to see those kind of people. Because usually the Hal Awards, anybody who's around Motown people, which I love so dear, the music, it's only at either funerals or the Hal Awards that you see these Motown people coming out. They like to hang out. God bless you, and best wishes to you in your career as you continue, because, again, as a young actor coming up, and I love your attitude, my brother, because that's half the fight right there.
Yes, sir.
Is that attitude. You got to have a right attitude. Right? Next person we'd like to talk to is Carlease Burks.
Yes.
How you doing, lady?
I am fine and very happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. As Marla Gibbs always says every time we do this show, I always say, Marla's good to see you. She always says, it's better to be seen than viewed. That's her famous words. I love when she says that. I love that.
She's awesome. I love that lady.
So please tell us about your role in this play.
Well, I play Lucy Charles. And can I just give a little commercial? Because we've been talking for a while, in case somebody's just tuning in. We're talking about the play The Marriage by Kosmond Russell. It's going to be October 8th at the West Angeles Theater Center on Crenshaw. And tickets are $32, and you can get them at www, which I understand you don't even have to say anymore. You can get them at Kosmond.com, Kosmond.com, and you'll probably have the thing underneath and all that kind of stuff. But somebody just reminded me.
Oh, about the commercial? That. Yes, indeed. Yeah. And he knows you do commercials all the time.
Yes. So I play Lucy Charles, the mother to Angelique Charles, played by the beautiful Dawnn Lewis. And she inherited her mental illness from me and my side of the family. So it's a challenging role, and one of the major reasons why I accepted it, because I like to research characters. I like to do projects based on real people, and I'm very, very concerned about not making her a stereotype or just play crazy, like Andre was talking about the reality of the character. So I get to do a little research, and I get to dive deep and make her real and solid, and not just like this nutty lady with no foundation.
Sounds interesting. How do you practice something like that? How do you get in character for something like that?
Well, you don't. I don't think you practice. I think you just become that character. I was away last couple of weeks, and I took a novel with me about a character who has paranoid schizophrenia, just to get inside the head of someone that has it. I've been reading interviews on the internet of people who have it and their family members, and how families are affected by it, and just trying to understand what goes on in their minds, and make her, like I said, real.
Interesting, because again, it's an interesting role. When you got selected for the role, first of all, how'd you feel?
Honored. As Kosmond said earlier, we've known each other for over 20 years, I think, and I was honored. I think any actor is honored to be asked to do a role, but especially because of the cast, because of the subject matter. And I did not know Kosmond's story. I didn't know that this was his actual, that he lived this, and so I became as passionate about it as he is. It kind of makes me see. I keep looking over here because that's where he is, but I don't know. It just. It makes me emotional, because you don't know what people are going through.
No, you don't.
From day to day, we meet each other and we make judgments, and we look at the outer appearance of people, and you have no idea. You never. All of us have a story.
Right. What does a serial killer look like? Anybody sit in this room in any place?
You know? Yeah. They can be handsome, charming, rich, poor, black. Yeah, how do you know? How do you know what the story is behind it? So I'm honored to be able to bring this to life, and I'm honored that he saw in... Did you think I was crazy? No. Wait a minute. What am I saying exactly? No. But I'm honored that he thought I could breathe life into Lucy.
I was waiting for you to do it. I'm using things like this.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, God. But you bring a lot of experience. Again, when I look at your resume, I go, wow, the lady has done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've been around for a minute.
Or two, yes.
Or two, yeah.
Tremendous experience that you've got. The personal feelings that you have about mental illness, you told me, but can you tell us, in today's world, seeking help, a lot of people don't know how to seek help. They don't know how to ask for us, especially amongst our people. We don't know how to do that. You see this pen that I wear. I wear this pen constantly because I'm a double prostate cancer survivor. And I try to tell men about prostate, particularly black men, about prostate cancer, since it is the #1 killer of African American men. And mental health problems, a lot of that, you see that all the time.
Yes.
Getting us to be, first of all, be aware of it. Second of all, to seek some help.
Right.
These are things we're not doing. What do you see as a source to maybe to put a little kick in our gas to make us go out there and learn?
I actually think it's better. I mean, when I look back to childhood and hearing my parents, especially my mother and other adults around me, and even in church, saying that you don't need counseling, you don't need therapy, you're weak, not talking about issues, not facing the issue that is right in front of you, just sort of sweeping it under the rug. That's how it was when I was younger, but now I think as a community we're more open to going to therapists and seeking help, and there's so much self-help out there. For me, I remember the first self-help book that I ever read was Pulling Your Own Strings by Wayne Dyer. Is it Dwyer or Dyer? He just recently passed away. And then I just became a self-help junkie. I've read everything. I still listen to CDs all the time. I'm always on the internet. If I think that something's wrong, I'm going to go try to find the solution. As a child, I couldn't find it in my home, and it made me a little crazy because I knew that something was wrong, but nobody was addressing it, and nobody was listening to me, and nobody was helping me. And so I learned to go out and do it for myself. But now I think there's all kinds of women's groups, and there's support for everything. I mean, let's start with the 12-step program. Yes. But it's rampant now. You can find help with anything that you need.
That's right.
And so I believe that we all are taking advantage of that.
And you can do it in privacy.
Exactly.
Search on the internet as opposed to feeling embarrassed about, who knows and who saw me going in or out of this place or whatever. Yeah, you can do so many things anonymously now if you can just be compelled to do it on the internet.
That is true. And that reminds me of when I was going to West Angeles, there was and correct me if I'm wrong, there was like a mental health component or a ministry counseling, but people were not signing up because they didn't want anybody else to know.
In the church, right?
In the church. I mean, you have to sign up, you have to give your name, you have to show up, and there was that stigmatism and that embarrassment of, needing help. Why can't I figure this out on my own? What's wrong with me? I don't want anybody to know that whatever it is, whether it's mental illness or domestic violence, and I have a lot of experience with working with victims of domestic violence, and that's another thing that's just secret. Like nobody wants to talk about it, So
very personal.
So here's a suggestion: just go to a different church for their counseling. Go to church for worship.
Right.
And if you're concerned about who knows in the congregation that I'm going for help, just go to a different church and seek out another church that's offering those services and counseling and do it by the grace of God.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So don't stop just because you're uncomfortable about going to what your church has to offer.
Right.
Look out, seek out some other.
Or go to a therapist.
Exactly.
Just go to.
But being a celebrity as you all are, does that stop you from doing things that you want to do, like going to see a doctor, things because the next thing you know, you look in the newspaper, there's been your name all over the.
Well, there are confidentiality laws. I mean, they're not supposed to be, spreading your business around. Unfortunately, for me, that's never happened.
You are mindful of it.
Yeah, and you are.
Because everybody's got cameras, they're taking your pictures.
That's true. Yeah, I know. You have to be on guard all the time. Be careful what you say. Even tweets, social media, you can't do or say anything. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
What the world has become. Yeah.
Carlease, what was your favorite scene in this play?
God, what is? It's still unfolding for me because we're rehearsing in segments. Lucy is basically in one scene in the beginning, and she makes a couple of appearances in Act 2. Okay. I can't say I have a favorite yet, but I do know that what I think of is that bench scene all the time that Dawnn is faced with performing. I mean, that's where the tour de force comes in. I can see why she jumped at doing this role again. You'll see. $32, Kosmond.com. You'll see. It's brilliant. And I'm only speaking from the table read because, like I said, I was away. So I haven't been at I just started rehearsing my stuff last week. And I haven't even seen what they have come up with while I was away. So I can only imagine. I'm just going by the table read and what I read. When I read the script, it was so funny, the timing. I had just finished reading it, and the phone rang, and it was Kosmond. And he was like, "Did you read it?" And I was like, and I got goosebumps just thinking about it. I was like, I was just sitting here saying, "Wow."
Yeah.
Wow. And then he started to tell me, I don't know if I knew it was his story at the time, but that just added a completely different layer on top of it. So,
Got you.
So I don't have a favorite, but that's the scene that impacts me the most right now.
Because what you actors and actresses do, it amazes me. It's just a piece of paper with words on it, just words.
Right.
But y'all can make your spirit, your everything come off, make those words just come up off that page.
Right.
To be or not to be. I mean, it's just on the screen. I just love what y'all do it.
I love working with Dawnn. So let me just talk about my scene
Please,
for a moment.
please. We got about 4 minutes left. Yeah.
4 minutes. Yeah. No, I love working with her, and I love exploring this space with her. And we've barely just gotten started, but I look forward to the layers that we're going to bring: the reality, the playfulness, and the seriousness. And sometimes I see a look in her eye, and it just I don't know. I can't even just again. Here we go with the goosebumps. But she looks at me, and it's like real. It's not like an actor going like that. Like I can see what she's feeling and thinking in her eyes in rehearsal.
Yes.
So I can only imagine what it's going to be like on the night. Oh, by the way, I'm only in the 7:30 show. Carlease Burks, 7:30, not the 2:30 show.
Why not?
But come to both of them.
Why not?
Well, maybe Kosmond will explain.
Kosmond.
I mean, I kind of...
Kosmond?
I'm not going to take responsibility, but I have some responsibility for that.
I understand. One quick question. Talk about it, if you will. Just got a minute. The changes you've seen in this business since you first got into it.
Oh, gosh, the changes.
What they ask you actors to do now that they've never done before.
Wow. Well, I mean, let's just look at the diversity of the Emmys, the Shonda Rhimes of the world, the Viola Davises, the Dawnn Lewises that have, opened doors and paved the way for Black actors and actresses to do what we are now doing. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I could probably think of other things, but and also more Black people behind the scenes, writing, directing, women, and just diversity in general, even the LGBT community. I mean, everybody's getting a shot. And the other change is social media and reality shows have sort of kind of evened the playing field. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but in some cases, people are getting 15 minutes that would have never, ever gotten their 15 minutes.
Some people are getting
series
because of their social media. Casting directors, producers are actually now starting to hire people based on how many followers
exactly.
you have.
Well, that's the difference. That's what I'm talking about.
You're the right actor
exactly
or whatever. It's like, are you kidding me? Seriously?
But isn't that leveling it in a sense?
It's not, because they're not.
Well,
okay,
I think we're talking about different.
We just spent the last hour talking about how much we care about our craft and how much we work at our craft. Right. You're talking about somebody who managed to take some clever Instagram.
No, I'm not saying
Snapchat
that makes them equal. I'm saying their opportunities. They're getting.
I'm not debating the opportunities, but when you talk about leveling the playing field, you're talking about experience versus non-experience.
That's not what I meant.
Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. It's like you're giving the same opportunity to someone with no experience based on their popularity, as though it should bear the same weight as someone who comes with experience and passion and professionalism and responsibility to their craft. That's like saying I will have my heart surgery done not by the doctor who's trained, but by someone who plays it very well on TV.
Oh, I
It's
agree
like,
with you, but the
what in the
people who
world?
are
There is a
hiring are
difference.
hiring people that don't have the training and the experience and
Based on
everything that we
popularity.
had
Yeah.
to have back in the day.
No, but-
That's what I meant.
Talking about your question about what are they doing now that or what are they asking you to do that they weren't asking you to do before.
Right.
It's like before, my responsibility was to show up and bring the character to life. Now it's I've got to do that and
Social
go home and
media.
respond to tweets and social media
Live
and keep up
tweeting.
and live
I mean, you were
tweeting,
just talking about
which is a
being
whole other
verified.
job.
If verification was around when you were doing your show, you'd have that blue check.
Whatever.
You'd have it. You know what I mean?
Ladies, if I may, I hate to cut you off.
Oh,
we
sorry.
ain't got but a minute, but 30 seconds left, but I just want to say one thing. Thank you all for coming over today. I always make it a habit to give something to the ladies.
Oh, he's
Always
such
make that a habit.
gentleman.
Would you please pass that
Cosmo,
down to
get
me?
back on camera.
I love to do that. It's just
Thank you.
it's
Wait,
just one rose.
Cosman. Oh, there he is.
There he is, Cosman. Can we get one quick? We got time for one quick commercial. Date, place, and time.
Go for it.
Saturday, October 8th, the West Angeles Performing Arts Center, 3020 Crenshaw Boulevard. For tickets, www.kosmond, KOSMOND.com. That's Kosmond, KOSMOND.com. Tickets only $32, 2:30 and 7:30 performance, and you will be absolutely blown away.
Give the phone number too.
323-733-8707. 323-733-8707 is the box office phone number.
Thank you, Cosman. Thank you very much, Dawnn. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Carlease. Thank you very much for coming.
I want
by
to say
today.
something real quick.
Yes, very quick.
Also in the cast, because if you don't know us, you may know someone else who's in the cast. Again, Andre, Carlease, myself, Richard Gant, Dannon Green, Patricia Belcher, Malika Blessing, Evan Lionel, Edwanda
Gilliard.
White, Carl Gilliard. Love you, Carl. Toyin
Lionel.
Moses, comedian. Novocaine is in the cast. Fitz Bronson, Nena
Houston.
Zah. Oh, Fritz Houston. Sorry. And of course, Christopher.
Edwanda White, Christopher Richards, and Connie Brazelton.
And Evan Lionel, another great comedian.
Lionel, excellent. So please come out and join us.
Come on down and see the play, and we'll see you next time. Take care.